Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Great to have you along. We were joined by golf coach Tanner Williams. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just kind of wrapping up our season, kind of get to the end, trying to see if we're going to get into regionals and state.
Yeah, and it's, I'm sure, been a fun year. Trying to get through this Oklahoma wind. Keep it low, I would imagine, this year, right, with the winds in Oklahoma?
Man, that's a lot of the advice. It's golf in the spring is always interesting because our first tournament, it'll be, 25 degrees outside with 40 miles an hour wind, and you'll think it's going to warm up, and it'll be 75, and the wind will be blowing 65. So, but yeah, no, you never really know what you're getting weather-wise.
Yeah, so let's talk about the kids. Who's kind of standing out this year for you?
Man, we've had a ton of kids just improve their overall games this year. Was talking to one just yesterday. You don't always see it on the scorecard, but you can see it at the end of the year when you start doing stroke averages. And he feels like he didn't meet his expectations, and in a short bit of time, he's improved his golf score by 6 shots, but he doesn't feel like he's where he needs to be. But, man, overall, top to bottom, though, the whole lineup we've gotten better. So me and Coach Parks were talking about it just yesterday when we were at a tournament, about how we've been fortunate to inherit a good group from Josh Swain, our junior high coach. He did a really good job last year. And, instead of kids shooting 115, 120 when they come in, they're shooting 95 to 100, So we're really happy with that.
Golf, it's all about that next step. And, it's funny because a good golfer can set up that same handicap forever and making that next step. When you're working with the kids, because it could be different things. It could be for one kid in the tee box. For one kid, it could be putting. One kid, it could be short game. So golf, I would imagine as a coach, you have to be a little bit more individualized in what you're doing with each kid.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that at practice. A lot of golf is going and working on what you need to work on, what you need to get better at. We have some kids who are just naturally great putters. Some are naturally good off the tee box, so, we encourage them. If you're shooting 88s because you're hitting 3 balls OB off the tee box, go work on tee shots. Don't worry so much about your chipping or your putting, and then vice versa. We got some really bad putters, so you can keep it, in play. And we just send them to the putting green and say, hey, man, you got to – and it's not even about taking. We say you got to make 100 putts. It's not take 100, make 100.
Is putting – I mean, how you treat the 6-foot putt, or a 6-foot putt. And I know each green's different. It's going to be a level of difficulty that's different based on how it's banked. But a 6-foot putt, do you treat it kind of like basketball you would free throws in a way?
So, man, putting this is the hardest part that people don't really see unless you're in the golf world. You're not playing on the same basketball floor. You're not playing on the same football field. Every course we go to, the greens, they can be a completely different type of grass. So they all roll different. Some are fast, some are slow. It's a huge adjustment, to make from course to course. But that short 6-foot putt, I would call it like a free throw. You're expecting to make it every time, and you probably miss more than you should, But
we watch enough golf. I mean, the best in the world miss them too.
So and that's kind of the message that we tell the kids. If a professional tour player, makes 6 out of 10 from 10 feet, if you're making 2 or 3 from 10 feet, you're doing a really good job. So it's man, and it's just tough because you've played golf. You get a 5-foot birdie look and you're like, man, that's in the back of the cup, and you putt it and you miss it by 3 feet. It's just how it happens sometimes.
Anybody that plays golf, you hit it off. Let's say you start on a par 3, you hit it within 4 feet of the cup, and you're like, man, it's going to be a good day, and then you still can't get your birdie. That's just part of the. That's also the mindset too. I think golf it's a great teacher of failing because you fail a lot and you have to get right back up and go back at it, and you can't let that failure affect the rest of your day. And that's one thing I think that golf is really good and beneficial in teaching young people.
Yes, sir. That's the mindset we tell the golfers, is it's not about the shot you hit, it's about the next one. And anybody who's played golf, 2 bad shots and a good shot, you have a par putt, and that's kind of the goal of every hole you're playing is to have a look at birdie or par, like give yourself that opportunity. And, you might hit one, 25 yards left off the tee box, and then your next shot you might hit over trees or under trees and roll it up to 2 or 3 foot and, get a birdie and then go to the next hole and hit it right down the middle and take a bogey. It's a game of just ups and downs. But that's the mindset we really preach hard is, don't worry about what's in the past. Worry about what's in front of you.
Yeah, and since you take it over, are you seeing the progress? I mean, I know each year can be different based on the kids you have, talent you have, all of that, but are you seeing progress in the program?
Yeah, it's overall we've gotten better every year. My first year, I think we had 6 seniors. My second year, we had 3 or 4. Last year, we had 4. This is the first what I would call young group that we've had. We're predominantly sophomores on our golf team, so there's still a lot of growing. Had 2 seniors this year, Blake Austin, Jackson Anderson. I'm not sure if you know Blake. Blake's been a 4-year starter for us. Pretty high-level golfer, separated his shoulder. Kind of had to miss the rest of the year, and it kind of sets you back, but it's interesting because it put guys in places that we weren't expecting to be there, and they've exceeded expectations, so it's kind of neat to see that from some of those young guys. But yeah, overall, we're really young. I think we'll pretty well return 4 of our 5 golfers next year. So really looking forward to that.
All right, I know you don't know as of yet, but tell us when regionals are, all of that, and when you're looking to find out.
So hopefully we know. I would hope by at least the end of this week. I'm hoping to know by the end of the day. Samuel Lemming, he'll make it in for sure. Okay. He's played really well this year. He's probably been our hottest golfer. I think his scoring average or his total best rounds is kind of how they do regionals, and I think he's sitting at like a 7.8, which is pretty good. I mean that's 77, 78.
Yeah.
So he's striking it pretty well, and then we have a senior, Jackson Anderson, who's kind of on the cut line right now. It's the cut line's like 9.5, and he's like a 9.51. So we're hoping that he catches a couple breaks and can get into.
Yeah, and you get in, like I said, get in your regional, and all of a sudden you have a good tournament, and you find yourself at state, right? I mean, that's kind of it. Getting there is a big part, but then anybody can have a good day.
And we, in our conversations with the guys who are making the decisions about regionals and how they do it, that's what we're telling them. If you get a kid who's an 85 guy, normally that one day he's hot, he might go 75 and find himself in the state tournament. So
that's the way I would be. I may score 95 one day, but 75 the next. And that's the tough thing too, because like I said, you just have days that are bad, days are good, and those 2 days that you have with a regional, state, or whatever, if you just have those 2 good days, it can make a big difference in whether you are up there or not.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to kind of what we were talking about, our mentality about the next shot. It's always, you can go throw up a 74. On Monday and then play around on Thursday and shoot a 91. It happens all the time. It happens to the best golfers in the world, And so we just keep preaching that, take advantage of the opportunities that are placed in front of you and, try to go out and execute and do the best that you can each round and, let it fall how it may fall.
Yeah, there's about one golfer it doesn't happen to in the world right now. That's Scotty Scheffler.
He's pretty dynamic.
Yeah, as you say, he's pretty. He's good, but at the same time, he never has really a bad day. He has good and great days.
I don't know what that number is. I know they said it during the Masters about him not missing cuts. I can't tell you the last time I remember him missing a cut. So pretty impressive what he's done.
Do you have a different now that you're coaching golf? Is it different watching the tournaments now for you? Because, like me, I like watching tournaments every weekend, but naturally the majors with the Open Championship that'll be coming up later this summer, and then the Masters always fun. But I'm not coaching. Is it different for you now that you're coaching?
It's interesting because, dealing with golf, and we had this conversation, with the golf team. We're watching the Masters, and they're looking at putts, and they're all the high school golfers like, oh, man, I'd shoot an 82 there, And we had a little running joke, and I was like, if they let you start on the green, you might not shoot par from that golf course,
Ask those amateurs how they did this year. There wasn't an amateur made the cut this year.
Yeah,
so.
No, and that guy's the collegiate champion,
Yeah.
So he's pretty talented. And it's just funny. That you find yourself doing that when you're coaching golf. You kind of watch it from a different mindset, and I'm always thinking, man, if I had that shot, what would I do? Or if I had to be a caddy, what advice would I give a golfer in that situation? So you see it probably just a touch different than the average person watching.
I won't ever get to play the Masters. If I could just get on the course to watch, it'd be good enough for me.
Just make sure you take me with you.
Maybe we should put in for tickets sometime. It'd be a little easier for me to get away than you, though, because you're coaching this time of year.
That's true. I would. I would make the time.
You know how that works, though, too, right? The lottery?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you don't know which day you're going to get. You could get, like, Tuesday if you put in for the practice round. You could get a Saturday of the tournament. You could get Sunday. You just don't know which day you're going to get.
I think they'll all be worth the trip.
I think they would, too. So I think I'm going to put in here soon. Me and my brother and I have talked about, we'll maybe see if you want to tag along.
I'm in. You just send me the dates.
You pay the gas. We'll put it that way. How about that?
I'm in.
All right. Well, okay, Coach, appreciate it. Best of luck with the rest of the year. Hope those kids get qualified, and hope y'all guys do some damage up at regionals.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Real quick, man, just wanted to shout out the golf courses here in town. Rod Alexander and Kevin Brown out at Wentz, and Glenn Cassidy and Carson Walker at the Country Club. Man, we couldn't do it without those guys, just allowing us to get out. And they basically give up their courses, to the high school golf teams every day. Really appreciate it. And one last shout out to my wife, Addie. So she's the real winner, makes it all happen for us. She takes care of us, when we're gone. So we appreciate everything that she does. Couldn't do it without you.
Hey, coaches' wives,
they're the real heroes,
and coaches' husbands. Y'all are the real MVPs, as they say. I know that from working in the college environment. Behind a good coach is always a good spouse. It seems like. So, Coach, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jordan.
Coach Tanner Williams. That's going to do it for us with the Coach's Corner for today. Thanks to Chris behind the camera as always. And until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying so long and go Cats.